What's up guys, I'm Derek. Today I'm going to show you how I finally finished my dining set by making this bench. So I was browsing the lumberyard a while ago and I ran across this slab of ambrosia maple. And guess what? It's the perfect size for a dining room bench. We needed one more maple dining room bench to match the set that I started over a year ago and still haven't finished. So let's get started. We're gonna bring this lumber in the shop, cut it to length, we're gonna take off the bark, clean it up with a wire wheel, and then do some hand sanding. So overall, this is a pretty simple build. There's only one slightly complex part of it, and I made a jig to help me with it. So this is just a piece of 1/4 inch plywood that I cut a 45-degree channel in. This channel is gonna fit the bushing on my router. Then I had this little positive stop right here. This is just so I can register it in the same place every time when I put it up against the piece. So I just line up the middle of the channel with the corner of the bench, then clamp a stop block to the edge of the line that I measured so that the router stops in the exact same place every time. Then I would just clamp everything down and go through the routing process in a couple passes. Then just cut the metal legs down to length on the bandsaw. So then you just have to prep the metal for welding. I started this by using a stripping disc, but then quickly realized how inefficient this was. I remember that I had a little bit of my secret sauce spray left over. So much better. Now it's time for a quick dry fit so I can measure out the exact size for the bottom pieces. So since this is a live edge piece of wood and I couldn't just use a random width, I chose to cut it to fit. So once I had that marked, I would clamp down a speed square so I could score the first 45-degree line. Then I would remove the clamps, take off the speed square, and cut all the way through. Since this left a really long, awkward shape for the braces, I used the same process to cut those down so they would fit better. Sadly, at this point, I had run out of my magic spray, so I had to clean these pieces the old-fashioned way. So now that everything's cut and cleaned, it's time to finally get to welding. So I flipped the piece over and I used my woodpecker square to make sure that the legs were exactly 90 degrees to the bench. Then I could put down some tack welds to make sure it held everything in place, recheck for square, and then lay down full welds across each joint. just grind everything flush and then sand the corners of the bench so the wood comes back to meet the steel. So the steel on this is gonna be blackened. So now I had to tape off all the seams where the wood and the steel meet so I wouldn't get any of the spray on the wood itself. So I'd tape off with painter's tape and I would cut to those lines with a razor blade. Then just pull off the tape that was left on the steel and it would leave a nice clean edge guarding the wood. So to blacken it, I used a blackened patina from Sculpt Nouveau. I'll leave a link down to that in the description. I love this stuff. It blackens the surface instantly, but it leaves a nice patina, so you don't get that solid black that you would with spray paint. Spray it on, wait a minute, then spray off the excess with some water just to neutralize it. Once it's dry, throw in your clear coat, and you're done. Now I just brought it back inside so I could drill and tap some holes so I could thread in some adjustable padded feet. Now just flip it, remove the tape, and then give the whole thing one last good sanding. You may have noticed a problem in that last clip. When I was finished sanding the top of the bench, I accidentally sanded through the blackened patina and the clear coat that I put on the top part of those legs. Luckily this was an easy fix. Throw a little bit more tape on, cut it back just on those parts, throw some blacken, spray some clear coat, boom, fixed. Finished the slab with some Odie's oil, then I finally brought it inside so it could be with the rest of the set. Now for some beauty shots. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys liked it, make sure you subscribe down below so you can see all the future builds we have coming out. You'll also find links to all the tools that I use in this build as well as others. This one was pretty simple and pretty easy, but now we finally have a full dining set. So until next time, thanks for watching. I tried to get some cool finish shots of this bench that I just made. And I was like, oh, I'll get a good clip of this guy laying on top of it. He jumped off. Just finished this bench. Guess that one's on me. And you.